Now, there's no doubt about it that a lot of Star Wars fans had a lot of criticism over the Obi-Wan Kenobi TV show when it launched back in May of this year and ended, of course, not too many weeks ago. A lot of fans have been really up in arms over exactly what choices both Joby Harold and Deborah Chow actually made with that series, and moving ahead, we also know that Favreau and Filoni are really trying to pick up the broken pieces and putting the Star Wars franchise back together again. That's basically what their endgame has been since they joined the Mandalorian series, and really building up this new take or this new way of respecting the Star Wars universe moving forward. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you are new to the channel for future Star Wars updates. Also, by the way, guys, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you also very much for the kind support. It is greatly appreciated. Now, one thing about the new Star Wars universe is that, yes, Favreau and Filoni, over the past number of months, they've been getting more and more promotions, giving them more creativity over the Star Wars franchise, Disney executives allowing them to do as they please with these new Star Wars TV shows and the lore that's about to be made canon, and reviving Star Wars Legends. So there's a lot of things being done between Favreau and Filoni to really boost the enthusiasm for Star Wars fans, and that's their main goal, is that from this point, with, of course, shows like Tales of the Jedi and The Bad Batch Season 2, that's going to kickstart this new era of Star Wars by Favreau and Filoni. So it all begins this fall is when Star Wars is going to turn the tide. Now, on top of all of this, what's even all the more intriguing has a lot to do with the second season of Obi-Wan Kenobi, as we talked about this before a couple of weeks ago. It is happening, it is brewing behind the scenes, so is the Book of Boba Fett, which, by the way, was previously cancelled, and now it's being renewed with a second season, just to let you all know about that. We're going to be learning more about that officially by this fall, so keep your eyes open for that. However, with the Obi-Wan Kenobi series now out on Disney+, creators Joby Harold and Deborah Chow are no longer attached to anything else Kenobi related moving ahead by Disney due to the high demand of criticism. Now, of course, however, it's described that as of right now, a second season for Obi-Wan Kenobi is currently coming together with both Favreau and Filoni involved by taking many of the storyboards from the cancelled Kenobi movie trilogy and picking and choosing which ones to use for the second and third seasons of the Obi-Wan Kenobi show, before they actually end it all together. Now, one of the big plans by Disney is to treat Season 2 of the Kenobi series as a soft reboot, so to speak. In a sense, it will still pick up after the events of Season 1, however, no major changes or events, of course, that took place in Season 1 will be directly or overly acknowledged to make the new season feel more of its own thing. Now, of course, however, on top of all of this, one of the big plans by Disney is to treat Season 2 of the Kenobi series as a soft reboot. In a sense, it's still going to pick up after the events of Season 1. Now, no major events that took place after Season 1 will be directly overly announced. However, it's described that both Vader and Kenobi will not meet again in the second season, but that everything is being set up for one final duel to take place in the third season of the Obi-Wan Kenobi TV show. Now, let me just stop here quick, because in case you guys did not know, they are planning to make the Season 2 and Season 3 outline of the Kenobi series basically all of the plans that were rejected by Kathleen Kennedy that Stuart Beatty wanted to do in the Kenobi movie trilogy script. He had a lot of storyboards made, and a lot of those storyboards are now being salvaged, being used essentially for the Kenobi series. So moving forward from all of this, both Season 2 and 3 are set to take place 8 years and 7 years before the events of A New Hope. Storyboards from the Kenobi movie trilogy that are being revived are, of course, set to involve the return of Mace Windu and Darth Vader, and of course, Vader learning about Mace Windu's survival. Now, one of the main storyboards that took place in the Kenobi trilogy that will now be used for Season 2 involves both Mace Windu and Darth Vader eventually confronting each other in a very brief lightsaber duel where, of course, nobody wins the battle. This is said to take place on an Imperial base that Mace Windu infiltrates with other Jedi, assisting him when both Vader and Windu fight on top of a large catwalk, similar to the appearance of Kylo Ren and Han Solo's moment in The Force Awakens. Now, let me just stop here for 1 second. Now, the thing about this that I think a lot of fans absolutely need to know about is the fact that Stuart Beattie had a lot of great ideas that were completely rejected by Kathleen Kennedy at no surprise. We've seen this time and time again that Kathleen Kennedy does not care about the legacy characters, nor does she care about the prequel trilogy characters, right? It just seems to be quite apparent, and given that Kathleen Kennedy had a large amount of creative control with the Kenobi series because she had a contract with the Kenobi trilogy, she was able to use a lot of the original ideas, aside from what Stuart Beattie actually did, by implanting that into the Kenobi, first season. Now, the thing about this, too, that I think a lot of fans need to be aware of is that Mace Windu's survival is being set up, and it's also going to be teased in a numerous amount of upcoming Star Wars TV shows, of course, including one of the animated shows, The Bad Batch. We're going to be learning a lot more about that as well, so keep your eyes open for that, too. Now, of course, the scenery is described to be near similar to where Mace Windu is wearing a hood over his head in Jedi robes, clashing sabers with Darth Vader's crimson lightsaber. This is where eventually one of the other Jedi picks up a stormtrooper weapon that is like an RPG and blasts the catwalk to protect Mace Windu from Vader striking Mace Windu down, where the catwalk now splits in half, leaving both Mace and Vader apart, where the chance to run away from the crumbling catwalk is actually giving in. This is when both Vader and Windu part ways after their brief duel on the strange new world that is said to be the home of a new weapon being created by the Empire. Both Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen are currently slated to return for the second season, and have already met up with Favreau and Filoni as well as Samuel Jackson, getting involved in the most recent meetings. Ewan McGregor has been specifically instructed by Disney to lie about his involvement in the new Kenobi season by all means, to build up mystery for actually all of this, to protect it more. Hayden Christensen was also instructed to lie about his involvement in the Kenobi second season as well. Now, before I get to the next thing here real quick, obviously Samuel Jackson has been wanting to come back for the longest time. You guys may recall that back at Celebration in 2016, Sam Jackson kept on begging Kathleen Kennedy for Mace Windu to come back. He kept saying, make it happen, let's make it happen, let's actually bring him back in action. And basically now that's exactly what they're doing. Stuart Beattie wanted to do this in the Kenobi trilogy to really make it like a very epic adventure with a lot of surprising reveals and revelations, all of which were shot down by Kathleen Kennedy, that are now, thankfully, being revived by Favreau and Filoni, using Stuart Beattie's storyboards and script ideas that were rejected and putting that into Kenobi Season 2 specifically. This, I think, is going to make the second season all the more attractive, not just because of that, but also it's going to be used as a soft reboot. We already know that it's going to focus more so on Luke Skywalker. Both Leia and Reva are being taken out of the story, so it's going to be its own thing in a sense. So overall, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you guys have to say about this below in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
From night to moon.